Electronic ignition installation. What we have here is I've just replaced the coil. That wasn't the problem. The gold box on the sidewall there is the old rectifier, which spit the bit on us, is what laid down on us. And then we have points underneath the distributor cap. And what we're doing is we're going to go ahead and take the points out, rip those out, and put our new electronic ignition in there, which is a simple process. And then we're going to take the rectifier and take him out of there. We don't need him anymore. The little green dot is on there right now. And just bypass that completely. They were popular 70s, 80s, and 90s, but we're going to discard him. At this point, just go ahead and take the distributor cap off. You're going to take all the inside guts and workings out of the distributor, which are the points. Just go ahead and take them all out. You're not going to ruin anything. Just don't bang the distributor itself up too much. Take your time.
Your new kit will be an electronic, actually it's magnetic, and that's just going to go over the top, and it kind of slips in. If you feel it, there it is. So it'll only go in one way.
As luck would have it, of course, these won't fit through the distributor, so I'll have to cut these off and pull them through. There's a rubber gasket. Go ahead and just lube that up and put it in right. Take your time doing this. I'd like to thank all my new subscribers. If you haven't subscribed yet, please go ahead and do that.
Rubber gasket right there. Just go ahead and pull it through. I lubed it up just a little bit so that I could pull it through. Now we'll go ahead and install. In your kit, there'll be a new screw, a little bit longer than the old one. This part here is pretty important. This is the only time, unless you wrap this thing around a tree or something, that you should ever have to work with an electronic point system. And basically, you have the little box I'm putting in, installing, and that magnetic cap that we slipped over the top, that'll be the spacer between it. The reason I'm explaining this out here, because it's a tough squeeze back there. Stick this in between here. Tighten it up. So you have your box here and your magnetic plastic piece right there. And tighten that baby up. So I went ahead and tightened it up, and basically that little plastic piece, I can pull it through pretty easily. Let's pull these wires out a little bit out of the way as not to get hit.
On your coil, you'll see a positive and negative. Make sure that this is done correctly, that your red wire is going to your red, your positive, your negative is going to your negative. Also, to your positive, you are going to have 2 wires going to it. When you took your old ones off, there will be 2 on there. Now, the one positive you're going to have to run back on there. That one probably goes to the ignition, and it's a power source, of course. So you're going to have 2 positives going to your coil and 1 negative going to your coil.
Now, there's a positive and a negative on your coil. Obviously, you want to make sure that you're putting that together. And like I said, if you don't put these 2 wires together, you'll have two on yours. Now when you're putting this on here, don't get honky with it. Just snug it up. Crying out loud. Strip that off and then you'll spend another $40 on a coil. Unless you got 3 of them in the Quonset like I do. But this is a new one. We gotta treat this one like. Boy, doesn't that shrink wrap do a nice job on that? Look at that. Just cleans it right up. That's the way it should look. Clean him up with a little emery cloth. Don't get too radical with it, just so it's shiny again. And then what this spins on, there'll be little points here. Go ahead and clean those up too. You gotta remember, I'm not a mechanic, just a rancher. And so us ranchers, we call things by their technical names. Like this here's a doodad, and it goes on a thingamajig, and it hits those thingamabobs on the side there. There should be 8 of them. With the doodad back on a thingamajig, and this here, I do know the name of it. Distributor cap. There we go. And we'll go ahead and take him off now. I want to thank my family, my film crew. Dakota is filming us today, and she's pretty good, pretty professional. I'm worried that she's going to get a professional offers here. So in short, we got rid of the old rectifier. Solenoids were probably the only thing that was bad in that. I didn't test it, but they say that's pretty normal. And we got rid of the old school point system. And you know, every 6,000 miles for sure, probably maybe 8,000 miles, you had to readjust the points. That old girl, garbage. This old girl, garbage. And look here, they still got some tea to spare. People comment over the years on my electrical toolbox. Now I have a couple 5-gallon buckets with a wire and etc. in them, and then an organizer as well. But I keep this when I'm working on automobiles. I keep this toolbox around. I have wire, everything I would possibly need in here. Shrink wrap, fuses, the whole 9 yards. Even trailer lights, bulbs, etc. Keep them all in an old toolbox I wasn't using, keeping my Quonset very neat and tidy. When I do electronic work, no more running all over the place, all in one unit. Very, very nice. If you aren't doing that, my goodness, you would really, really like this.